Okay, so I'm going to do a comparison between these two grinders here. We've got on the left there is the new Sunbeam EM0480 that I got recently, and the one on the right is the grinder I've been using for almost all the videos I've done. It's a Delonghi. They're both conical burr grinders, yeah, we'll just see how they compare. What I'm going to do is I've spent about half an hour setting them up so they're grinding at about the same coarseness, as close as I can get. I'm going to run the grinds through a sieve, a sieve, and just see if which one at the end of that produces the most number of coarse grinds when we've tried to run it through the sieve. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, so the first one I'm going to do is the Sunbeam grinder. Just have a listen to it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 2 little teaspoons from each grinder, so it's the same amount, and I'll try and make it as fair as I can. Two little teaspoons in there. Now I'll use this brush to swish it around just so that I'm not pushing it through with my finger. It makes it a bit softer and probably forces less grinds through the filter than it would if I used my finger. But I'm trying to figure out ways of doing this, and this seems to work the best. And we just swish it around until no more seems to be going through, and we'll see what we end up with. Swish it around almost at the end, I think. There doesn't seem to be too many more coming out. Okay, so we've got about that many. Let's tip them onto this other plate I've got here. And okay, now I'm going to try the Delonghi. I've cleaned the sieve, and just listen to the Delonghi. Now I'll use the same spoon, 2 teaspoons from this one. Try to be the same amount of coffee. That's about it. Now I have noticed that the grounds when they come out of the Delonghi are darker for some reason than they are when they come out of the Sunbeam. They say in the information that comes with the Sunbeam that it grinds at a lower speed, so I don't know if that's affecting it, or what it might be. But let's just see what we end up with. I think that's about it. There's not much left there, which is a bit of a surprise. Now if we just have a look down there, you can see there's 2 little piles. I'll just move these over here. two little piles of coarse grinds. Now the one on the left is the Sunbeam, so there's about that much, fairly similar, but I was expecting the Sunbeam to have a lot less than that. Now something I notice about these, if I have a look at them, is that the Delonghi is definitely darker. It's exactly the same bean from the same bag. So I don't know how to explain that. I'm surprised. That's not what I was expecting, but there you go. I still believe that the Sunbeam's making nicer coffees with less coffee, and I don't know how it's doing it, but it is. So I'm happy with it, and I might have to do a few more tests, but that's it for now. I just had a look at them under a magnifying glass, and I think I understand now why the grinds from the Sunbeam make a better, more consistent coffee than the ones from the cheaper Delonghi. And when you look at the what was left over from those two filtered bits of coffee, the ones from the Delonghi, while there was less of them, they were a lot more varied in shape, and there was actually some quite big chunks of coffee bean that had made it through the grinder, which weren't present in the Sunbeam. So while they both produce a bit of a range, and there's still some coarser bits in the Sunbeam, overall it's a lot more consistent than the Delonghi. There was some fairly substantial chunks. I think that's why you can use less coffee to make a good coffee with the Sunbeam, and why sometimes you need to really pack up hard and updose with the stuff from the Delonghi. So that's what I reckon, and I think that's why the Sunbeam is a better grinder, a lot more consistent overall.